Welcome to my 1,000 mile review of my little Honda Grom. I don't know how much longer I'm going to have this motorcycle for, but it has been an experience, and a very good experience to say the least. This is the bike that started off my Kreifel Cycles YouTube channel, and it was my first bike after about 10 years of not riding. Okay, I had a bunch of kids, still have a bunch of kids, but I'm done having kids now, and I just love motorcycles. I couldn't stay away from them, and the Grom was my first entry back into motorcycling after a decade. So I'm going to go over the upgrades today. We're going to take it on a ride. I'm going to tell you about my ownership experience after 1,000 miles. I've only had it for about a year and a half. It is a 2023 Honda Grom. 124cc single cylinder air cooled. You can see all those air cooling fins down there. Looks so good. All right, let's talk about the mods I've done to it. Okay, I have the DHM or the TST Works. I think it's called the TST Works airbox mod, as you can see right here. Absolutely love that mod. It really wakes up the bike. I have the DHM tune, and I also have the full Yoshi race exhaust here. As you can see, I'll give you some revvies a little bit before we leave. I also have the from the 2025 model year. That is the official OEM. A belly pan down here. I think it makes the Grom look just insane. It looks so good with the Yoshi pipe and that belly pan. It did take some modifications because I have an aftermarket shifter that sits a little bit closer in. It's a cheap shifter. I don't even know what the brand is. Pit Pro Racing. It's not perfect, but it's better than the stock shifter. It just sometimes the downshifts are a little, sometimes they don't hit the downshifts, especially if I haven't ridden it in a while, but we'll talk more about that when we're riding. I put some rim tape on here, but when I changed the tires to these Michelin, whatever they are, 120 by 70 by 12 inch, when I changed out the tires, I scraped one of the wheel tapes off, but I don't care enough to replace it. It's, you know, the Grom's not to be taken too seriously, so it's missing wheel tape on one of the four sides of the wheels. I like this. I think this is the Kimimoto rack extension. I think it just looks good. You can. I've also put coolers on it in the past. I keep my Kimimoto saddlebags. They're just generic saddlebags here for the Honda Grom. They hold like a 12 case of beer. I'm actually going to pick up some beer right now. The Grom is my guilty pleasure for not only riding, but also it's my beer runner, because I have I could put an actual cooler on the back, which I've done in the past, but I'll just throw it in the saddlebags. I don't feel like strapping it in. I put the KLX Pro Taper guards on here, and this is just some like brake reservoir sock that I think I had on my MT-09 that I got rid of, but I kept that sock there. It's getting a little dusty and fuzzy. It's seen some weathering. I forget, these are Pro Taper grips. Just some really cheap mirror that I got on eBay or Amazon. I almost said YouTube. On Amazon for this mirror, because I cannot stand the mirrors on the Grom. I took them off, and this is good. This is all the visibility I need personally. I got the cheeky seats seat here that matches pretty good with the sticker kit that I have from Yoshimura. As you can see, the sticker kit's on the headlight, it's on the front fender, it's on the gas tank, it's even on this rear portion here. And this is the Yoshimura tail tidy with the Yoshimura turn signals. And my turn signals up front are also Yoshimura, I believe, as well. Yeah, you can see the little Yoshi logo there. I think that's about all I've done. Oh, I have changed the chain, which I highly recommend. I think I've maybe cleaned it or tightened it once since I put the new chain on. I'll go ahead and put it in the description. My bag's kind of in the way, so you can't really see it. So let's fire her up. Now, getting the Grom in neutral is not easy. There we go. Actually, it was easy that time. It's a little bit easier here than it is on the stock shifter, but it's still not easy, but just sounds amazing. I do have the DB killer in on this exhaust, this Yoshi exhaust. no Grom should ever sound that good. I just don't understand what kind of magic Yoshi did with that exhaust, and it is overpowered or overpriced. Not overpowered. This bike is not overpowered. I don't care. Like, I've taken this thing off-road, as you guys maybe saw my I think it was a video when I was covering the Sherpa 230 from Kawasaki. I haven't ridden this bike in a while. The last bike I rode, of course, was my ZX4RR. There's always a little bit of an adjustment. I'm like, I don't know if the bike should be turning like this, but you got to remember this is kind of like a play bike. But oh yeah, baby. She's been running good when I do take her out, though. I mean, with the mods I have on here, she'll do perfect situation. I got it up to 70 indicated. It's probably not quite, it's probably around 65 or so GPS, but I pretty much have to be drafting. Oh, I forgot my levers. I have some cheap levers that have made the riding experience a lot better here, a lot easier to pull, a lot easier to reach. The KLX bars were an absolute, that was the suckiest thing for all the upgrades I did. The KLX bars, they look amazing, and they make the bike just, you have so much leverage over this tiny bike with these bars, but like, pain in the ass. There's a little black Cybertruck. Pain in the ass to put the KLX 110 bars on. You gotta like drill into this bar to make sure that these controls slot in. It's just a pain. Maybe some people really like it. I probably, looking back, not sure if I would do that upgrade again. All right. Some people do the quick throttle pull. I have not done that. We changed the, I forget what you call it, and it just allows you to grab full throttle earlier here. I mean, I guess that would be nice, but honestly, I don't. Just sitting here, you got, I mean, I really have to wait for traffic to like essentially not be there. And then I also use the bike lane quite a bit too to accelerate if I need it, because the Grom is slow. It's really slow, but man, she's sounding good. I don't have my earplugs in today, so I can hear this Yoshi exhaust for all that she's worth. But this bike, I'm about 200 pounds. This bike will cruise all day long from 45 to 55. And then if you have a headwind or have a hill, you can forget about carrying speed. See if we get around this RAV4. There we go. You know you're in an underpowered car or vehicle when you upshift and you lose speed. Oh, the Grom is just always so satisfying. All right, so let's talk about my ownership experience. I mean, maintenance. The most work you're going to be putting in this bike is an oil change, maybe once a year, unless you're riding the dickens out of it. And chain maintenance is probably the biggest maintenance. But once you change out that stock chain to a decent X-ring chain, it's not an issue whatsoever. Your maintenance goes down by like 400%. Air up the tires, give her some gas. Every once in a while, change the oil. That's essentially the Honda Grom life. And so that's why it's just like, it's going to be hard to get rid of. This thing would run forever. And you know, I have no issues with the braking power. I understand its limits. The suspension is definitely, I wish it was better, but I understand its limits. And so the Honda Grom, oh, the stock tires. Yeah, the stock tires are absolute trash. That is a huge upgrade I think most people should make. Stock tires, absolute trash. I don't know. I think I'm gonna get over here. I don't want to cross the street. I can just pick up beer at Walgreens. damn, she's loud. And this is with the baffle in, and she's still loud as fudge. All right, where were we gonna park her? That's a suspicious vehicle back there if I ever saw one. Well, shoot, I should have gone up on the sidewalk here, son of a gun. And head and grab some brewskis. Yep, Walgreens was a complete bust for beer. Let's see if we can get through here. My handlebars are much wider than stock. That's one of the downsides of the KLX bars. They're much wider than stock, and so it's harder to fit into tighter places. All right, I think this car is gonna let me go. Yeah, beer was a bust there, man. Natty Lights, Coors Lights. I mean, I'm not that desperate to get beer, but it was a joke for beers. There's some Modelo's. That was probably the best thing in there. Not saying American light beers aren't good, but what is this Buick doing? Buick Rendezvous is the biggest, I mean, it's one of the ugliest vehicles ever made. It's the Buick version of the Aztek, except I think it's uglier than an Aztek. Maybe gonna park over here. Right here looks good. Let's see if this gas station is any good for brews. Shoot, this place has a beer cave, man. We got a beer cave up in here. Man, beer cave. The beer cave itself was great because the AC in there was next level. The issue is that their general beer was not that great. However, you got the real good stuff when you find the tall boys, and they had quite a good assortment of different IPAs with the tall boys. We'll just put the tall boy over here, zip her up, and we'll put the rest of them on this side. I don't think there's anything in here. Oh, oh man, I got some wheel weights in there. I got an old Trader Joe's bag in there. It should be able to fit. These things never have let me down. I've always been able to fit way more stuff in here than I should. Oh, and this time might be my limit. The irony is that I still haven't unpacked these saddlebags that much from when I moved to the new house. So anyways, that beer ain't going nowhere. How many people have said that ain't going nowhere and it goes somewhere, but it's obligatory. You hear that nice diesel 350. Let's back this B up. Man, I even have, how embarrassing I even had a cobweb. But that lady in there, man, she was so nice. She's like, man, God bless you. She's like, be so happy. She wrapped my beer in like 10 bags. Big Harley. There it is. You know, it's not as crazy slow as a lot of people think it is. You know, 0 to 45 is quite decent, and then it falls off. Honda Grom. I love this bike. Do I have any regrets about it? Absolutely not. So if you're on the fence of whether you should buy one, well, it's a great bike to learn on, I think. You know, some people say it doesn't teach you good throttle control because you're pretty much full throttle all the time, and sure, but I think it's a good beginner bike to just learn the ropes. You're never going to scare yourself. It's super light and flickable. You get great fuel economy on it. I'm getting, I don't even, honestly, I don't know. I fill this up so few and far between. I got 4 out of, I think, 6 bars on here, and if you guys didn't know, I have 1,026 miles. So there's my 1,000-mile review. I want to say I got 52 miles on the tank right now, and the fuel mileage went down considerably once I did the mods, but it honestly makes the bike so much more enjoyable when you mod it. So if you like tinkering, and if you like upgrading and customizing your bike, then the Honda Grom, I think, is just, it's awesome. All right, if you have a lot of extra income, essentially, then it's great. And I think it's an amazing second bike. For example, I started with this bike and then I kept it when I got my bigger bikes. And I still love, like, it's not that I like my other bikes more than the Grom. I love the Grom just as much, but it really has its limitations, right? Now that I live out here, there are essentially game trails everywhere and single tracks everywhere, and I can't take the Grom there. I have, and it's kind of fun, but I definitely need something with more aggressive tires and more aggressive ground clearance, higher ground clearance, things like that. We're gonna get there. Gonna beat this Navigator. Clutchless upshifts, baby. And they're 60 all day long. I think the Navigator is now behind me. I can't go that fast on the Grom. No way, sir. Okay, I'll be respectful, and this is my neighborhood now, so I'll just putt around until I get home. So, Honda Grom, like, I know it's expensive upfront cost, but it's that cutesy factor. And the cutesy factor is worth a lot of money. And it just, you know, motorcycles, at least in America, they're not bought for practical purposes most of the time. They're bought for toys. And the Honda Grom, oh my god, it feels like a toy. It is a toy. It totally is a toy for our market. In other markets, I know it might be like an actual usable motorcycle, but like a scooter, in terms of just overall dumb usability, a scooter is better than a Grom. But the Grom is infinitely more fun than a scooter. Okay, so since like America is not a motorcycle commuting place, essentially motorcycles are just for, as you saw that big Harley going to the gas station, they're literally just for entertainment and fun and, you know, just expanding your lifestyle a bit. So that's why, like, if you want a low displacement two-wheel vehicle, a Honda Grom's great. You can rotate your gears, learn a manual transmission on it. You can have fun customizing it, and it's something that's going to be reliable for a really, really, really long time. And parts on it are dirt cheap, absolutely dirt cheap. So I love the Honda Grom. I don't think anyone, you know, here's the thing. If you only have room or the budget for one bike in your life, Honda Grom, maybe not the bike, all right? I would probably take a Monkey over it. No, I'm just kidding. Well, that's a different topic. But, like, you know, people, if they're using it to commute to work and stuff, you know, everyone's uses are different, but it might not make a lot of sense, all right, for you to start with a Grom. Like, if you know you're going to be riding at higher speeds, or you know you're going to be doing trails and stuff, obviously the Grom is not for you. And I've always kind of wanted to get around here. Not going through that, guys, don't worry. If I had a dual sport, maybe, but there's probably a gator in there. Like, F that. No way, no way. You don't know how deep water is. All right, so let me just park her real quick, which I'm gonna have to put her in nudie. See if I can get neutral. There he goes. There she goes. After 1,000 miles, as my beard gets warm in this 95-degree Florida, South Florida sun, Honda Grom, absolutely love it. It's a great errand machine, especially once you put saddlebags. Does it kill the aesthetic a little bit? Yeah, but it also, like, makes the bike just more over the top ridiculous when you put saddlebags on it. And some of you guys say, Kirk, your saddlebags are on backwards. I don't give a damn. Like, they function exactly the way they need to. They carry stuff. It doesn't matter if they're front or back. I guess they're backwards, right? Because, like, if you put a drink in there, I don't know, be harder to, it just, whatever, they work. So Honda Grom, absolutely love this bike. Again, I don't know how much longer I'll have it, because out here, well, I like to have something that can go off-road and handle some trail action. And the Grom, just, that's, you know, its life before it moved out in the country essentially was a beach bike, and it's absolutely perfect for a beach bike. It's absolutely perfect for a city bike, but this is not a city. This is a somewhat developed, like, absolute jungle out here in South Florida. It's essentially on the edge of the Everglades where I live now, on Big Cypress Preserve. Like, there's state parks around me, and Honda Grom, not so much a state park sort of bike. So I'll see you guys in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions about my ownership with the Honda Grom. I wish I could ride it more, but I find myself riding it less now that I don't live in a city or close to the beach. It's just kind of, you know, it's my beer running machine essentially only at this point, and still love it to pieces. I'll see you guys in the comments. Have a great day. Ride safe out there. If you're thinking about buying a Grom, you only live once, man. Do it. See you in the next one.